call the public hearing to order. Before we start, this meeting will be conducted by audio or video conference without a physically present quorum of the Streamwood Park District Board of Commissioners because of disaster declaration related to COVID-19 public health concerns affecting the jurisdiction of the Park District. The President of the Board of Commissioners has determined that an in-person meeting at the Hoosier Grove Barn, 700 West Irving Park Road, with all participants is not practical or prudent because of the disaster. Commissioners, the Executive Director, staff, and Chief Legal Counsel will not all be physically present at the Hoosier Grove Barn, 700 West Irving Park Road due to the disaster. Physical public attendance at the Hoosier Grove Barn, 700 West Irving may be limited or not feasible, so alternative arrangements for public access to hear the meeting are available here. And you will see the numbers in the link to Zoom. This meeting will also be audio or video recorded and made available to the public as provided by law. So with that, let's begin with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Armstrong, Commissioner Brogan, do we hear Commissioner Brogan?
He is not on.
Okay, Commissioner Janik,
Here.
Commissioner Yower,
Here.
President Wright.
Here. Next up, do we have confirmation that all participants can hear one another? Can everyone who's on hear each other?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you hear, Rich?
Fairly,
Okay.
Very good. I think then we move on to the presentation of the 2020 budget.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of documents. Commissioner Brogan just signed on. Can you hear us, Commissioner Brogan?
It'll take a second.
Okay. Commissioner Brogan?
Yes,
Just want to make sure you can hear us. Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. So we have Board Appropriations. As you know, we posted a draft budget back in April, ordinance number 20-4-1-0, which is the combined annual budget appropriation of funds for the Streamwood Park District, beginning May 1st, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2021. The numbers have been updated to date. In the corporate fund, cash forward, $1,532,394. Estimated taxes, $1,800,467. Interest, $130,853. Donations, $10,950. Rentals, $5,022. Miscellaneous, $79,100 for total receipts and cash on hand of $3,558,786. Budgeted expenditures of $2,099,432. with cash on hand at the end of the year estimated at $1,459,354. For simplicity, for the recreation fund, I'm showing total receipts and cash on hand of $3,524,002. Budgeted expenditures of $3,121,656 with cash on hand of $402,346. Museum fund. I'm getting a feedback from somebody. Everybody still hear me? Okay, museum fund, cash forward, opening balance of $21,996, budgeted expenditures $25,902 for a deficit cash of $3,906. Audit fund, total cash receipts and cash on hand $37,471. Budgeted expenditures $21,000, cash on hand $16,471. Special recreation, total receipts and cash on hand $605,243. Budgeted expenditures $414,471 for cash on hand of $190,772. Bond and interest fund, cash forward as of 5/1, $243,690. Estimated tax receipts $1,647,000. Bonds $1,280,000 for total cash and receipts of $3,171,418. Expenditures, which is the payment of bonds and transfer of $2,849,265. for ending cash balance of $322,153. The insurance fund, cash forwarded, beginning of the year, $11,196. Estimated tax receipts, $89,299. Interest, $2,638, for total receipts of $103,133. Budgeted expenditures, $157,367, for a negative cash deficit of $54,234. Paving and lighting, $7,374. Total receipts and cash on hand. Budget expenditures at this time are zero, so the cash on hand remains at $7,374. IMRF fund, total receipts, cash on hand, $256,682. Budgeted expenditure, $225,000, for cash on hand, $31,682. Social Security and FICA, combined receipts and cash on hand, $382,697. Budgeted expenditures, $194,000. Cash on hand would be $188,697. And finally, the Capital Improvement Fund has a cash forward balance of $2,445,539. Bonds transfer in of $1,260,000. Interest of $20,000. Miscellaneous of $200,000. Total receipts and cash on hand, $3,925,539. Budgeted expenditures, $160,738, and cash on hand would be negative $3,235,199. So what I'll go through and explain a couple of these details in a little more detail. Here, next form that I have on here is a form that you're probably typically used to seeing, where it shows the budget versus the actuals of last year. So the corporate, you can see actual corporate revenues of $2,026,000. This doesn't include the cash forward, is slightly higher than last year's estimate of actuals of $2,017,000 by $9,000. Corporate expenses are slightly higher. Part of that has to do because of transfers that we're looking at. So we have a corporate net deficit for the year on the budget of $73,000, but keep in mind that we have about $1 million in fund balance moving forward, which we're supposed to be dropping. So that's going to count towards that. In the recreation fund, budget $3,180,000 compared to $2,577,000 last year. This is the toughest part because obviously with the COVID, all of our estimates are at this point, we don't know how they're going to turn out. We know that our day camp is going to be severely down. We know that everything. So rather than just try to haphazardly guess, we're going to closely monitor this. And if we need to make a budget amendment throughout the year, we can do that. Staff has already given me potential cuts in both corporate and recreation that we can make without having to change these numbers at this time. On the salaries and wages, $3,121,000. Again, that'll be reduced. We're already seeing savings through the furloughs. In last year, we had $2,805,000. In the museum, last year we had revenues of $0 actual. We're proposing with a couple transfers to help cover some of the needed expenses there of $9,401. Museum expenses, again, with some of the things we need to do, $25,902 as compared to $11,977 last year. So it does put us in a net deficit for cash wise, but we do have a fund balance. Audit fund, $20,197 is our tax receipts. Last year it was $17,000, so we do see a little bit of an increase there. Contractual services remain about the same, might actually come in a little higher depending on how much work Mr. Julius has to do. But as you can see, we're about where we were at last year. Special recreation, because it's outside the cap and because we know that we had some ADA projects we want to do, including the museum ramp or museum ramps and ADA doors. We're looking at proposed tax revenues of $283,396. Contractual services against that, $414,000. That includes what we pay out to NWSRA. We know that we won't hit all of the projects this year, but we are also drawing down off of the large fund balance that we had there. Bond and interest, last year we raised $2,015,000. This year it's 2,927,000 according to tax receipts and bond issuance as planned. Expenses 2,849,000 as compared to 2,302,000. All of this money would be earmarked towards the repairs and needed improvements of both Park Place and the community center. The insurance fund, tax receipts of 89,000. Last year was 121,000. We had a large fund balance carry forward that was projected. I have to check what the miscellaneous is. That's got to be, I'll have to check on that. Contractual services, which includes Paderma, which is under risk management, and some contractual services for alarm monitoring and things like that. One of the things that we do have here is, oh, I'm sorry, the miscellaneous is a transfer from corporate. That's what that is. To help cover, we do not know what the unemployment costs will be for the district since we're on a reimbursement program. So if we've had 56 or 57 people on unemployment and we're on a reimbursement, we don't know how the federal government's going to treat that yet, let alone the state government. So we could see a hefty reimbursement bill for unemployment. So that's where the $100,000 comes in. IMRF, last year we brought in 85,000. This year we're estimating 103,000 in taxes, a little bit of interest. This is another one with the furloughs. These numbers are going to drop. So we will have to adjust this throughout the year, but it'll be a positive impact on the budget. Social Security and FICA will be the same thing. Last year we brought in 262,000. This year we're estimating 272,000. I can tell you already that our estimated expenditures are dropping from 92,000 to 78,000. Part of that is because of you had a couple employees that left last year with buyouts, so you don't have that happening this year. And then lastly, on the CIP fund, last year we had 1,338,000 in potential revenue or actual revenue. This year, with the potential grants of $4 million and 86,000 between the park grants and the DCO grants, if they were to hit bond proceeds, we have revenue of $5,568,000. That is offset by potential expenses of $7,160,000 if everything were to hit and we were to tackle all the projects, but we know that that's not going to be feasible. We still budget for it.
Excuse me,
Questions?
Jeff, there's a
Yes.
200,000 in miscellaneous in the middle column again, the budget. There's another 200,000 in miscellaneous. Number 490.
490. Yes, that would be the miscellaneous revenue. There would be the other $200,000 from the OSLAD if it's completed and the state submits it to us, remits it back to us before the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
We have a $400,000 OSLAD grant, 200,000 you received in 2019. If we get everything finished on time and the state is on time with its payments, we should see the 200,000 before the end of, we'll see the 200,000 before May of next year, so it'll be the end of our year. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right. So switching more into here, if I'm going into too much detail, what I've done is on, if I take a roll-up snapshot of everything, again, this is just restating some of the numbers I've shown you. This was provided to you last month. And then I have one other document to show you. Our overall budgeted revenues, you can see tax receipts make up 52% of our budget. The next highest one is fees and charges at 15% in the orange. 24% is related to contractual fees and my eyes are going bad. I'm sorry, or bonds, my mistake, bonds. So this is an overall pie chart. And then on the expense side, wages and salaries make up 23% of our budget. Bond expenditures make up approximately 14%. Contractual services make up 18%. PIP is 17%. Any questions at this time?
I do not have any questions.
Is there anything anybody would like me to explain in more detail at this time? Again,
No, I
keep,
think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm good. I'm good. Okay.
Again, please keep in mind that with the COVID, it has changed the way we're looking at a lot of things. Potentially, like as I mentioned, in corporate, we have about $250,000 worth of additional expenditure reductions if we need to. And in recreation, that's approximately $279,000 at this point. And that changes from day to day. Obviously, with phase 4 starting, if we can get the pool open, revenues will start, fitness will be starting. We're set on target to start opening some of that up as of Monday, the 29th, as our plan. Same thing with our field rentals. They start on the 15th. So we've got some interest in our fields for tournaments and things like that. So hopefully that'll start to bring our revenues back up. Obviously, it's going to be a slow start. It's not going to be a rush at the door when it starts. So, Mr. President, that would conclude my presentation unless you have another questions.
Does anybody have any questions on the presentation of the budget?
No.
No.
Commissioner Yao, are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Is there any public comments? Director Janda, anybody from the outside looking?
I have not received any, and I'm double checking my email as we speak. As of 5:30 when I came here, there was none. There were no voicemails, and there are no emails sent.
Well, then entertain a motion from adjournment from the public hearing.
I move we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's got to be a roll call, Mr.
I'm
President.
sorry. Thank you. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
You're on mute, Sherry.
Sherry, you need to unmute.
Sherry is on mute. No, she has to. Oh,
Brogan,
now you're.
I'm sorry, we need a roll call to adjourn out of the meeting, please.
Commissioner Brogan,
Aye.
Commissioner Janik,
Aye.
Commissioner Yauer,
Aye.
President Wright.
Aye. Next up, I'd like to call our regular meeting to order at 7:13. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Armstrong, Commissioner Brogan,
Here.
Commissioner Janik,
Here.
Commissioner Yauer,
Here.
President Wright.
Here. Do we have confirmation all participants can hear one another? Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance
Pledge
to the flag
allegiance
of the United States of America
to America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Next up, topics from the floor. I guess we don't have that, so I'd entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brogan,
Aye.
Commissioner Janik,
You two by one.
Commissioner Yauer,
Aye.
President Wright.
Aye.
Yeah, I said aye, whatever you avoided me.
Okay. No, I said first.
Next up is the finance report. Commissioner Yauer, floor is yours.
Okay, President, right. Okay, the finance report has monthly expenditures and payroll. We all have copies of the memos, so are there any questions or concerns about it? Okay, the next is the Cook County Clerk tax rate calculations. Does the director, Jeff, do you want to explain or?
Yes, I will.
Any details to it?
Let me get to the
Oh, thank
document.
you.
Okay, as you know, every year we pass a levy, a tax levy. So we passed the 2019 tax levy at the end of the year before the last Tuesday in December. With that, it's in accordance with the Patel or property tax extension limitation law and determines our levy amounts. From there, the county will take a look at the EAVs, figure out a limiting rate, and then come up with our estimated and final rates and extensions. So what you have next in this chart in my memo here is you're showing that we had a levy amount of, say, for the corporate fund of $1,818,625. We directed it through our Patel compliance direction ordinance to reduce it to $1,710,332. Between the limiting rate and the EAV changes, you'll see that our actual extension is $1,763,504. So we actually have a net gain in the corporate fund of $53,472 based on our levy. Each of the funds that are listed here, you'll see that we're into the positive for all of them, with the exception of handicap rec, because handicap rec and limited bonds are not within the Patel law. They're excluded from that. So our net gain, based on what we thought we would be reduced as compared to what we actually levied, we're going to see $147,215 additional funding that we didn't think we would see. So the next page here that I'm showing you here is the actual tax rate report that Cook County puts out. You'll see first column here, levy amount. There's the $1,818,000. They figure a loss amount in there for people that they're unable to collect their taxes, for total possible levy, your ceiling rate, maximum levy. Then you'll see Patel, this is where we tell people what we should be reduced, and they come up with the $1,763,504, which is 100% burden in Cook County with the corresponding tax rate. What I did here is insert the Patel limits that we had told the county that we would like to see if they needed to reduce. We knew that they would have to, in theory, reduce something, but because of the EAVs and economic growth, they did not have to. So that is what this memo explains. So just you see that we're in a better financial position than we anticipated to be.
Okay. Okay, do we have any questions or concerns about the Cook County clerk tax rate calculation? If not, that's all I have.
If we were not to raise it, how bad off would we be?
Are you saying if we hadn't increased our levy?
Yes.
Well, with the levy amount we did, which was the 4.9, but we knew we would get pushed back to the CPI. So if we had not gone higher, we would have left $147,000 on the table. So in other words, in theory, we would have under levied what we should have. And those are numbers that you can't estimate on because you don't know what the limiting rates or EAV changes will be at that point.
Right.
Okay, that's all I have for the finance report. President Wright, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Yauer. Next up, we have the Policy and Planning Report, Commissioner Rogan.
I'm looking at this and I got two different things here. So public assembly policy resolution for discussion, and let me roll down to it. And I'm looking at this whole thing, it's quite massive. So do we have any questions about all the different things that you have, the hoops you have to jump through to be able to do this? I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know. It sounds okay to me, Jeff, but
there's actually a there's going to be a webinar by Ansel Link this week, even on this topic. And what it is the Park District itself does not have anything in place right now to help direct someone who wants to have the right of assembly on Park District property. So this helps set
Right.
some direction of how things can happen to guarantee the freedom of speech, but also to help protect the property and people that are at the parks. So.
Right. Is
Okay. In our-
it 21 years of age? Is that something that's a qualifier, or can someone 18 years of age?
Well, the 21 years of age is because typically in Illinois, if you're under 21, you can't enter into a contract. So,
Okay.
My
Go ahead.
thoughts.
Ray, did you have
My-
something?
Policy, do we have anything that somebody might complain saying we are infringing upon their, basic rights to,
well, currently you have no policy at all.
yeah, okay.
So this establishes a baseline policy and explains, for example, in number 11, which is on the screen, we do not allow alcohol beverages on our properties. So we explain that. So.
Okay.
My thoughts.
Okay, you just wanted orderly because we didn't have any guidance before.
Correct. There was no guidance at all.
Okay.
I believe Commissioner Janik wants to make a comment.
My thoughts are that the fee is too low.
So,
If we're gonna have people congregating on our property and there's the potential for damage to our property, the fee should be raised a little bit higher.
well, it's actually not a fee, it's just an application fee.
Application fee.
So, and that's the process because again, freedom of speech in the First Amendment is pretty clear.
And
Right.
to be included that if they damage our property, they are liable for the damage.
Right. I think that
Then we could take
there's
a
a couple
security,
things here.
return it to them, if they don't damage.
Well, again,
That's not possible.
this has already been vetted by the attorneys for legality.
That's not possible.
So,
I was about
That's
to
not
ask
possible.
any,
If people want to assemble, even if they didn't apply for our permit, we have very little teeth into it. I mean, how are we going to, I mean, this is a structure of what we should do if you wanted to do it properly, right, Jeff?
correct.
So if somebody wanted to assemble and they decided not to clean up, there's really not much we could do. We would have to go clean up.
That is correct.
So, I mean, I think what happened at the last assembly that I observed where Jeff went out there and was picking up stuff as he was going along, and the people helped out too. They were picking up the garbage. Am I correct? And they were
That's correct.
being very helpful. So I think this is just a framework for if you wanted to have a rally for, I don't even know, something other than basic human rights, but something that would be, yes, this is what you have to do, a rally for whatever, or assembly. It's not even a rally, assembly.
Correct. It's just a framework.
Right. No, I'm fine with it. Does anybody else have any questions about it?
No.
you're saying that the attorney has looked at it, so I'm fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're the ones that created it. And this is
Okay,
probably this is something that's everywhere. And I think it encompasses everything unless somebody decides just to have a rally without asking us and doing it. And then we're going to have to figure out how that works.
It does give us the opportunity if someone wants to assemble and they reach out to us where we can maybe guide it and have it in an area of our choosing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, that's why I think it's a good idea. And again, I mean, as much as you're not going to be able to charge fees or anything, but it is, the $25 application fees, at least give us an idea of who's in charge, number one. And number two, how to, to do some background checking of our own to make sure that we have people that are going to take care of the property.
Right, right. Jeff, I think this is, in its face value, it's very good that we have something written down. But in the case of people just decide that they're going to assemble without our approval, we'd have to sit back with the village
are
and
correct.
see what this is
Right.
all about.
You are correct.
So,
But again, this sets the
Yeah.
framework so that if group ABC wants to come in and rally for something or have a prayer
Right.
group or anything like that, we have a framework of a permit system to move forward on.
I agree with this. I agree with it.
But tonight, it's just for discussion, no action for tonight. I just want to make sure everybody had a chance to see it.
There could be some more tweaking of this before our next meeting, I would assume, depending on what Ansel Blink comes up with between now and then.
No, I think this is fine.
So.
It sort of covers everything. And in absent of people that are not going to abide by it, we just would have to deal with it when it comes. Because you can't have everything in something that is, a memo or anything else that's going to cover what's outside the norm. You just have to deal with it. This is not going to happen, or this is going to happen.
We would have framework in place, so something did
Yes.
happen and people did not abide by it, then they probably could be concerned with the police call.
Right. Yeah. I have no other questions. Anybody else?
No.
No,
Thank you, Commissioner Brogan. Next up, I'd entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, you have a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll,
No.
please.
Commissioner Brogan,
Aye.
Commissioner Janik,
Aye.
Commissioner Yauer,
Aye.
President Wright.
Aye. Next up, correspondence. Does anybody have any correspondence they wish to share?
I had something that was asking, some neighbors were asking, what's the timeline for Commissioners Park on the construction? Will that be completed this summer?
Should be completed this fall.
Okay. Sounds good.
Excellent.
Anybody else have any correspondence?
Oh yeah, another thing. What is our plans for opening the gym? Having people work out? Are we? Is there something that, like a lot of the smaller gyms, the Anytime Fitness, are setting up appointments for people to come in and work out? What are we doing with that?
I'm actually, hopefully, in a minute, be able to give you a report on that. I'm trying to load it as we speak.
Okay, sounds good.
Departments and directors report.
Elizabeth, I'm having a hard time. Can you load the sway from your end?
Yep.
Bear with us, we're having technical difficulties. Any luck, Elizabeth?
I'm trying to load it. Hold on a second.
Okay. So Elizabeth's over at the admin building. I'm over at the barn because under the new Open Meetings Act changes, we had to have somebody here at the barn because we could have up to 10 people in phase 3 come to the meeting. So I'm here in case anybody showed up. So that's why we're having a little bit of a disconnect.
Well, that's good news. Did they officially open the phase 4, or is that still on the table?
That's Friday.
But the gym opens on Monday.
No, I meant, did they officially say we're at phase 4? Because I watched the
They
news.
said
I didn't see
Friday they
anything.
will start phase 4.
On Friday.
Okay.
Hopefully that means we can go back to a regular meeting.
Any luck there?
Do you have a PowerPoint
It's
presentation?
not on the laptop. I have to load it on the computer and it's loading. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Just bear with us for a minute because there's a lot of information in here.
I don't have the
Jeff,
link.
can you
Yeah.
send me the PowerPoint on an email right now, or is that not possible?
Well, that's the problem. I can't log in from where I'm at to it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll listen to what you have.
So just bear with me one more minute as we're trying to pull it up.
What did you title it, Jeff?
It was June Sway.
Thank you.
You give it one last try, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to wing it.
I just had it open. Here we go.
Were you able to get it, Elizabeth?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Streamwood Park District.
Are you able to see it?
Can everybody see it?
Mhm.
Okay. We're heading into phase 4. So Park Place Community Center has reopened for registration with limited hours and safety protocols under phase 3 as of June 15th. The tennis courts at Sunny Hill reopened under phase 3 on June 15th. Non-contact field rentals resumed under phase 3 on June 15th. PPE, which is personal protective equipment, is in place with all precautions at all staff facilities. Back-ordered hand sanitizer is expected today or tomorrow. The good news is the pool is scheduled to open under phase 4 guidelines on June 29th. Fitness is scheduled to open under Phase 4 guidelines on June 29th. Competitive sports are scheduled to resume under Phase 4 guidelines on June 29th. And day camp is scheduled to start on Phase 4 on July 6th. Can you take the next page, Elizabeth? So under recreation, outdoor fitness classes are being held outside Park Place Family Community Center. Staff is continuing to plan for fall and winter programming, while updating virtual programming offerings. We've also trying to look at potential challenges related to winter programming and COVID-19. Activities such as Halloween and Breakfast with Santa will have to be reworked. Day camp currently has 7 children registered at HGB and 5 registered for Park Place. Phase 4 limitations cap the group size to 15 children for multi-week camps and 10 children for weekly registrations. Currently, we have private dance lessons being held virtually, and we've had 5 children, 4, 6 children, and 6 children in each different session. As of Monday, the pool will be available for lap swim lessons and swim team rentals. Residents have already begun to sign up for designated times via WebTrack. The fitness center will reopen, and both staff and users will be tasked with cleaning the machines before, after, and between use. Workstations and machines will be set 6 feet apart. Competitive sports will return with soccer, baseball, and softball. Adult softball should start as planned on July 18th. Volleyball courts will be addressed, and nets hung up as well. Field rentals for tournaments will also be addressed. Barn rentals and events are being rescheduled, and we hope to complete all of the August rentals as planned. Shelter rentals at this point were on hold. We're waiting for a little further guidance from the state. But we realized we could open them, but in case something changes, we don't want to take it too far of a step on that. Also, last month, we attended the preschool graduations at Park Place. President Wright was there as well. It was a great event. The families and the kids loved it. They pulled up and they got their diplomas and certificates. Elizabeth, next page. Keep going. Keep going. Parks and planning. Pool motors at Park Place have been rewired. The pool has been patch cleaned and is refilled as of today. It's a chilly 57 degrees, I'm told. Repairs are being made to the hot tub and children's activity pool, and those must remain closed under Phase 4 guidelines. Commissioner's Park renovation is in full swing. The new retention pond is being excavated this week. There's a lot of activity going on there. They were talking about even trying to perhaps start assembling the playground in the next week or two. We also have contract punch list items going on for Dolphin and Sunny Hill Park as part of the 2018 asphalt project. Elizabeth, under media and communications, virtual program guide continues. Social media posts related to pool improvements, floor repairs, and elevator floor replacement have been posted. A number of park district and nature-related posts are being made to Facebook and social media. This week, it's about pollinators. So if you have a chance, check out Facebook. There's some really neat stuff on there. And then staff is resuming its work on implementing the marketing plan that the board adopted in the last couple of years. Financially, from May 19th to June 23rd, we issued check refunds of $12,274. We issued credit card refunds of $22,070. All this connected to the COVID-19 crisis. Payroll, we are still averaging about 50% of normal payroll due to furloughs. Administratively, the Fast Track Rebuild Illinois grant has been submitted to the DCEO. The Rebuild Illinois grant will be submitted tomorrow. The DCEO 2014 HVAC grant has been reinstated. Elizabeth let me know the paperwork came yesterday, so it's official. Dual signature payroll approval has been implemented, as we discussed. I regretfully announced that Aquatics manager Laura Flager has resigned. Today we had the alignment for collaborative education at Kitty Corner Park. They provided 200 lunch boxes for 138 children, along with 150 education bags to U46 students and families from our area as part of the summer reading program. I know that next week they're planning for 250 people, so that was a great showing. And then lastly, I attended the annual joint review board meeting for the TIF district that will be closing in 2024 as the only TIF that's currently open within the village. That would complete my report.
Anybody have any questions for Director Janda? See,
Are you finding someone to replace the aquatic manager who resigned?
We're looking internally right now, as you know, with the COVID and the furloughs, we're trying to watch and reassign current staff that we have on staff to take care of what we have. So we may leave that job position open for the short term because we do have other staff that could fill in that role at this point.
Okay, okay, thank you.
thank you, Director Janda. Next up, Commissioners Report. Any commissioners have anything they wish to report?
I would like.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
What I'd like to say is that our next meeting being public with us talking to each other and not on Zoom. Because we are going into phase 4 now, and we're allowed at least 50 people. So if we put an extra table out there at the board meeting table, we can easily have the president and the vice president sit at a different table and everybody else be spread out. So what does everybody think about that?
Well, I'm fine calling in until this calms down. I have a immune system that's compromised, so I'm not part of that.
Yeah, I agree with Rick. I don't want to come to a board meeting until everything calms down. And I wanted to just tell everybody too, just not me, go out only if it's essential and, wear a mask and keep social distancing. So just be very careful. It is a dangerous disease. The virus is terrible.
Maybe we can review someone can come in, with Jeff. And I'm fine with whatever works for everybody, as long as we get maximum participation.
Right. If the three of you want to be in there, that's fine. But I just want to slow the roll on this one. So.
Understood.
I have something to say. Jeff, I want to tell you and your staff how proud of you I am. I think that after the people that watching everybody at the exercising their free rights and talking at several of our locations, watching you in action, and Elizabeth and Sherry and everybody else, I am very, very proud of our staff and what they're doing to maintain what's going on here. And I'm just very happy on what you're doing and the rest of our staff are doing.
Thank you.
Okay, I have something to say too. I visited our Facebook page the other day, and again, Jeff and Elizabeth and Sherry, whoever's maintaining it, a good job. There was even some lady, doing exercises, and there was good stuff going on Facebook. So I liked it, and I like the pictures also. And again, I want to say for the board meeting, if Rid Janiak and Bill Wright and whoever wants to come in, that's fine. Whoever doesn't want to come, you should be, able to join via Zoom.
Agree.
That's it. Just stay safe, everyone, please.
Thank you, everybody. Next up, I'm sorry, I tried to make this short. So I'm going by, since our last meeting. One, I thought the preschool graduation was phenomenal. Cindy and her staff, the teachers, to actually see how much they love those kids, and the kids love them, and the parents and everything else. Obviously Sherry, a special moment for her with a grandchild involved in that as well. But it was really, this is something that we do really well. And I think it was not the way the kids wanted to go out. It was wonderful to see. I also want to build on Commissioner Brogan's comments with Jeff. Actually, I want to throw a bouquet to Commissioner Brogan as well. As we know, when the protests were coming up, and so much to fear of our people, but people from the outside didn't come in. And, having Jeff, who recently had a badge, and Rick, who recently had a badge, they're both very instrumental in working with the police and fire and really putting together a really nice plan. And I had the pleasure of sitting with the police department in their operations room, if you will, And the professionalism by Chief Sayer, by Chief Carter, and all the people were phenomenal. They did an outstanding job. I also want to commend the organizers of both protests. They kept their word. They really kept things very controlled. They cleaned up after themselves. And even when a couple people were getting a little hot, a couple of police officers, they intervened and said, you had a chance to talk alone. So as much as we were worried about it, I have to give to the organizers for being well organized and keeping things, in a very peaceful way. And finally, today I'm involved with the Aligned Collaborative Education, chairing the Operations Board, and it's been a big push for me to have them come out to Streamwood. And they did a great job. Jeff had Kitty Corner Park set up real nice. We're anticipating 50 to 70 kids. We had 138. They're anticipating 250 next week. They're going to be doing this every Tuesday now for the next 5 weeks. One of the things that's going to be great too is that Cindy's going to be putting together some marketing materials, programming, and everything for the Park District as well that we can put in the next group of packs. She was there. She's got a great working relationship with their preschool people over there in early education and early childhood development. So it was really well done by everybody. And we really got some very high praise from the Park District, from U46, and the people that were involved in it. So thank you guys very much. Next up, any unfinished business?
None, sir.
Any new business?
None.
I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
Everybody be safe out there, okay? Thank you,
Need a roll
everybody.
call. You need a roll call.
All in favor? We can
No.
do this.
Aye.
Roll call.
Okay. Go ahead.
Commissioner Brogan,
Aye.
Commissioner Janik,
Aye.
Commissioner Yauer,
Aye.
President Wright.
Aye. Be good, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be safe.
Love you, people.